fully aware of what allegiance is. And I would also note that one of the very few responsibilities our federal government has is actually making those determinations as to who should be citizens and who should be in our country.
Correct.
I would now recognize the gentleman from Texas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I understand more than anyone that we are a nation of immigrants, but there's a difference, stark difference, between giving citizenship to the children of slaves, the children of those subject to the Middle Passage, the children of sharecroppers, and the children of those who were once considered property, and giving citizenship to the children of people who crossed the border illegally, stay in taxpayer-funded luxury hotels, who receive free Xboxes, free cell phones, free flights around the country, and 3 square meals a day. There's a big difference. My great-great-grandfather was born on a plantation, Rosedale Plantation in Louisiana. He had to join the Union Color Guard to gain his freedom. By morphing the citizenship clause into something that it wasn't meant to be, it's demeaning to descendants of slaves like me. And not just me who served this country, but my father is a retired colonel. My sister went to West Point as a retired colonel. My brother went to West Point. We are talking about a direct descendant of a slave that earned the right to be in this country and passed that ilk down to his ancestry. People bled for it. People died for it. And it means something. The purpose of the 14th Amendment that President Trump's birthright citizenship executive order is that the citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment was never meant to apply to children of illegal or legal aliens. Allowing birthright citizenship to stay in place dilutes the citizenship of not just Black Americans like me, but every single American citizen that had to earn it the right way. Let's say this in black and white. Either you're a U.S. citizen or you are not. Now, the left has spent decades cheapening what it means to be an American citizen. They've quite literally been chipping away at the basic value of American citizenship. They pretend to be altruistic, but we know the truth. Ozzy Osbourne's daughter said on The View that we have to let illegal immigrants in this country because who else will clean our toilets? We hear it all the time. Who will pick our crops? And even though that we know that American citizens are the majority of those people picking our crops, we know what you're insinuating. And all this must end now. Mr. O'Brien, earlier you brought up birth tourism and how it's an issue of national security. Could you kind of expound on that and talk about why that's an issue? As somebody that served this country, this is near and dear to my heart.
Sure. If we give U.S. citizenship to absolutely anyone who is born on our soil, that takes the United States out of control of who becomes a U.S. citizen. And since, as everyone here knows, the people are the government of the United States, that puts us in a position where we could be allowing people who are citizens of adversary nations to be coming here, having children who gain U.S. citizenship, and then are trained to be adversaries of the United States. It puts them in a position where they can get jobs with security clearances, they can join the military, they can work in the defense industry, which they would not otherwise be able to do.
So over the course of the last 4 years, have there been people that have entered our country that are our adversaries, that have come to this country that we know of, and had children?
Yeah, there have been a massive number of people who have come here. And not just over the last 4 years, it was happening before. I worked in the national security apparatus of the Department of Homeland Security, and I worked on many cases where that had happened.
Is there any other country in the world that you know operates like this? I'm saying this from the standpoint of somebody that's deployed to Saudi Arabia and other countries around the world. This would never happen anywhere else, by the way. Can you name a country in modern or recent history that has behaved like this, and what has been the outcome of this type of behavior? Meaning that is this even a sustainable model given the number of people that have entered this country over the course, especially the last 4 years?
No, it's not a sustainable model. The only other place where it existed was in a number of the Latin American countries, and most of them did away with it after they were attempting to attract migrants in order to build their industries and build the number of people living in those countries. So this is something that's nearly non-existent.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. The left throws love thy neighbor in our face, and they say that we have to have open borders in order to be nice to people. Well, I ask them to tell the left, we have a bunch of neighbors right here in our country that are Americans. You see, your neighbors are the homeless veterans that you drive by to work. Our neighbors are the wayward teens running away from a bad home environment. Your neighbors are the families who just got evicted from their apartment. What do all those neighbors have in common? They're all Americans. And let's use our American taxpaying dollars to put Americans first. Newsflash, this is why President Trump is our president, because it's past due that we put the American citizen first. And once we solve our issues here, I'm a Christian. By God, let's help everybody else. But at this point, we have enough problems to fix in our own country, and this must stop. Thank you for your time.
Thank the gentleman from Texas. I will now recognize the gentlelady from Vermont.